All right, listen here, chat. I got something I need to tell you. We have 20 minutes and $77.70 to make if you want to see the secret ending for Contra Hardcore. If you want to see that secret ending, you got until this run is over to do so, plus I think another 10 minutes after that. Get those donations in at slurpathon.com/donate. Now that that's over, on a more happier and lighter note, we are here with Rockman. I'm joined by Phantomire, the one and only the Phantomire, and ChoobsX.
I don't know if it was long enough. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you still had breath at the end of that, so that doesn't count.
I like to live. I will.
Breathing's optional.
I'll
Anyway, yes.
keep my mic if I want.
This is Rockman 1. This is the genesis of the Mega Man IP, all the great games that come after this. This is the Japanese version, of course. The difference between this and the US version is only the title screen. So everything else in the game is exactly the same. I also think this is the only Mega Man game that has no music on the title screen. So it's, I don't think they knew what they were doing back then, but we're gonna show them what we figured out along the way. So if everybody else is good, you good, Phantomar?
I am good to go.
Well, then let's get this shindig started. In 3, 2, 1, go. And we're going to start off with Cutman, which has given me Stockholm Syndrome over the years because of how many times I've seen this stage.
This is Reset Central. There's a lot of tight things going on in this stage, but one of the cool things is that we already opened up with 50,000 points. And for those who don't know, points actually matter in this game in a bizarre way. They count up at the end when you fight each of the robot masters. So the lower the point value, the happier you are. So getting that 50k, that's exactly where we want to be. That's a perfect start there.
I've honestly seen top runners reset on 100Ks.
Yeah.
That's how important it is.
It makes a big difference at the end, especially when you're grinding those really tight times there. So you're going to be seeing little parts of tech here, little subtle things that build up throughout the run. Like you're going to see ladder jumps where Choobs is going to be jumping right before he's about to reach the peak of the ladder. And then you're going to see little things like the select glitch there, where when you wind up having it where you press select at certain moments, if you take if you get hit, you just reset everything that's going on in terms of like the momentum, the direction, everything like that, and the enemies, you're able to kind of like play with iframes and stuff like that, and we're going to wind up seeing that especially used later in the run to abuse that with some of the enemies there. But for now, it's just nice in terms of that travel, because now you don't have to worry about all the momentum and everything like that, because when Mega Man gets bonked, he's pretty fussy and really likes to make a whole show out of it. So if we just get to reset that, all the better.
I just like to say that we got two very bad Susie patterns in the latter two Susie rooms there. They're the worst ones possible, so of course we would get them. Anyway, Brofar's trying to say something, so we should let him speak.
Am I? This is news to me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, now that you're quiet, I can let everyone know that we still have time to reach our $6,000 goal for Slurpathon, and we have the rest of today and tomorrow to do so.
Oh, and I messed this up already. Nice.
So it's not too bad to be able to recover from this fight. It's a really weird fight in terms of the Buster, because you can do different types of versions of this fight. They both amount to about the same thing. You can wind up spamming the shots and jumping like that, or you can use the pause buffer to be able to actually kind of keep the damage and reset those iframes like that. Again, they amount to about the same thing, so it's more of a matter of preference. This is also, doesn't matter what route you take, what it is that you do, this is the scariest stage of all. Thankfully, we got another 50k, which is a really good start. And we got that first screen right away. It is, if you've ever played this game, you've all known the pain of how tight those jumps are and how mean that section is. So that's nice to be able to see that right away.
You are on your tippy toes that whole time. And these are what we call drop shots. You're basically doing a release from the ladder and shooting and re-grabbing the ladder very quickly. And it just allows you to kill those enemies before they get their little lightning bolts out at you.
Yeah, and you're able to maintain your upward momentum on the ladder, because if you were to just climb and shoot them, because of the amount of time that it takes to stop when you are climbing there, you're gonna have to kill more of them. So that's the dreaded corner jump. That's
First try.
not. Yeah, first try. We'll just go first try.
First try of the 5th attempt. That's all.
It's really scary. It's a very tight frame window, and dropping down from that, I think you lose like 12 seconds or something like that. Like, it's a pretty substantial time loss. So taking that little bit of an extra time, especially when we're talking about something in a marathon setting, that's way better than accidentally dropping down. So we are going to take that. And then here is the reason that this route even exists, where you're supposed to do like a frame perfect input at the top of the ladder here, and then you grab that magnet beam, and then away you go. So you can actually soft lock there and get stuck in that wall, and it's also really difficult to make that clip there, but Choobs handled that really, really well.
And I also got
you're
the single frame jumps upward out of that room. You can do a top exit out of that magnet beam room instead of a bottom exit. It does save some time, but it's tight because it's a single frame trick. And there's a lot of that single frame stuff in this run.
Yeah, and some of the things that's nice, like that one's tough because there's a part of it where it's just like it's a very much by feel, and it's a really difficult thing. There's some of the frame perfect tricks where there are some buffers to be able to go off of, but it's really tight. And then now we're going to be seeing some of the drop shots. These are this whole climb is really scary. You have to rely on the drop shots and jumping on those beams. So let's see. Beautiful. That is a really, really nice climb. That's so scary. so scary. It's actually one of the biggest reasons when I thought about running this route. I was just like, nope, I'm not doing this.
It's even scarier is because I have low health for that fight, and if I get hit at all, I'm going back down to the bottom of that room again. And you got to do that with those climb areas without magnet beam. So it's it takes a lot longer to recover.
Real hefty time loss there.
Yeah.
This is where it is that we have some of the buffer strats in terms of this. There's the dreaded ice pixel and everything like that. We're gonna start seeing the power of the magnet beam and some of the zips that you can wind up doing throughout this stage. The first little bit here is just going to be sort of the standard usage of it, but you'll see at the end of this screen.
No double ice.
Some scary stuff, but some really, really cool tech. We want to try to avoid being in that water as much as possible because of how much it lags the game, but that's quite good right there. So now we're going to be seeing the buffers here. Do a zip, jump onto the next screen, boom, another magnet, jump over the next screen. But buy Yoku blocks. Who doesn't want to say goodbye to Yoku blocks in a Mega Man game? Anybody who's played these knows how awful they are, so if we just avoid them, all the better. These platforms are completely random, so that part can get a little bit scary, so that was really well executed. Nice.
Ooh, didn't think I was going to get that one.
Yeah, that was a little tight, but we got it. And let's see if we can get some hallway zips here. There's yep, there we go.
Ooh,
there's a
nice
spot where you can just squeeze in between the magnet and the top of the ceiling there to be able to just make those zips. So that was really, really well done. Yeah. And then there's that.
It's a pixel
supreme
perfect trick.
Power.
It's pixel perfect where that beam has to be to squeeze Mega Man between it and zip him out. Because you're basically like tricking the game into thinking that Mega Man is trapped in the wall. And the game recognizes that and says, oh, you can't be there. Let's push you out of it. And that's why it works. And that's why we can abuse that all over the run. And that you also saw the power of the select, like that pause buffer there, because you just kept resetting the iframes without really moving anything there. So we're able to really hammer down on ice there and get that done in those 3 shots. And you'll really see the power of that in some of the later fights as well. This stage has some very scary zips in it, but some really, really cool ones.
There we go. And then gonna be, see, there's something just like every time it is that see it, it's super scary, but so incredible to be able to see those screen wraps there. This is probably my favorite zip in the run. So we'll just let it speak its magic, and then we just wind up going zipping on under here, and then boom, skip a whole bunch of ladders. Ladders are super slow. Don't want to have to deal with them, and then there's all those enemies there. Let's just, you know, let's just ignore them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get rid of them. Same for some more pixel perfect. Lovely.
Not as lovely as it could have been, but that hallway is the worst one in the game.
Yeah, you're having to deal with those turrets there at the same time. Those are awful.
Yeah, and once you get enough of those shots on the screen, the lag just changes your muscle memory, and you miss it every time. But
this is probably the most useful boss for the pause buffer. Trying to be able to deal with his pattern is really irritating. Like, he reacts to your shots, so there's kind of like a weird rhythm to it when you're trying to go through that fight, but it's still something where it's like, if you could just avoid that, you know, avoid it.
Now we're on to like the walk in the park. We're gonna bring it down a notch and just relax in Bobman stage.
So yeah, if there's any announcements or donations or anything like that, this is probably the best stage for them.
I'd love to say they were, but I'd be lying. So instead, I will... Instead, I will say that a lot of people in chat are wishing you good luck and praising you for the excellent stage work you've been doing so far.
Thank
Keep
you
it
very
up.
much, everybody.
And also that, just to remind everybody that the funds we raise go to the Alberta Children's Hospital as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital gets to decide where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars make the biggest impact possible. Go ahead and hit up slurpathon.com/donate to join the party.
And just as like a selfish plug, I mean, you want to see that Contra Hardcore secret ending. Not just because I'm running it, you get more Phanto time, but seriously, it's incredible. So this is a really cool zip. It's just something else. Skipping all the little hamburger things and skipping all the spikes and everything like that. Like, you just can't go wrong with that. It just makes things lovely. And then just go on through the walls, ignore all the Susies. Regardless of what route you take, this is one of the easiest bosses to really have to deal with. The only real thing that's weird about it is that for some reason your pickup is slightly to the right of where it would normally be rather than the center for all of them. Never quite understood that one, but it is what it is.
Well, you gotta get the game out the door. Like, you don't have time to fix that kind of stuff.
And
this
then
is the last Robomaster. This is Gutsman. He's a mainstay for the game in a lot of different places. And this is where he started.
Yeah, this is... If you saw the recycling in other games, like... I know it's not everybody's favorite, but Mega Man 7 used it, and some other games wound up plopping them in and making those appearances. And anybody who's played this game, especially like casually, knows just how painful those platforms are.
Yeah,
so, you know, let's just skip them. Let's just skip them. We don't have to worry about that. Let's see if we get this top zip here. Nice, nice. And then one of the other things that you see here is that you get to use this corner, like wherever it is that you can, doing corner jumps where you jump before it is that you reach the ledge, and we kind of get to use that momentum to just gain those frames. We're talking speedrun, baby. We need to gain frames. That's the name of it. And then, unfortunately, to take down Gutsman,
The worst weapon in the game.
One of the worst weapons in the franchise, really. Worst weapon in the game for sure, but one of the worst weapons in the franchise as well. The only thing that's like a saving grace here is that you can use the pause trick to be able to, to be able to kind of mitigate that so that you don't have to deal with his annoyingness as much, because trying to line up the bombs with his hits and everything like that, because the bombs take so long to detonate, he can jump out of the way. It's It's the worst.
Yeah,
It's just the worst.
That's why the strat is just put a bomb in the middle of where he's standing, and you can usually get the the explosion is large. It has a large radius of effect, and you can usually get him if he jumps forward or jumps backward. You can just select it, glitch him down.
And the nice thing about this route too is
did you see how young Dr. Wily looked there?
he's aged terribly.
Yeah.
One of the nice things about this route is you don't actually have to use Bomb Man's weakness again, because we're just going to skip him. It's great. Like, we get to skip a part of the refights. This and Mega Man 5 are the only games that wind up having refight skips. This one doesn't have complete and total refight skips, but it has a fair amount of it. There was supposed to be zip up top there, but instead we're going to go for some hopeful corner jumps. These are tight windows here. Very, very good. Those are scary. Yeah, this is backup stuff here. There's not a problem with that here. This is a very scary stage. So anything that it is that we can do in terms of backup there, again, just another corner jump. These are very, very tight frame windows here. So anything that's like off is like it's understandable. Like this is just a brutal run. We want to be shooting those blocks kind of off screen there because they cause a ton of lag. So we just kind of want to avoid that. And Choobs also has to be very careful about his magnet beam ammo here because you use this ammo the rest of the stages and you use this a lot. So we want to be careful with how it is that we wind up using it. Thankfully, he's doing that really, really well.
Well, aside from missing that one zip, this was not bad.
Yeah.
And we're going to see our friend, who is on my shirt, maybe? Why would I be puffing my chest out like this?
I think we have the cam slightly cut off on the VIII, so I think you puffed out your chest.
No, yeah.
You know, just for context, he does actually have the Yellow Devil on his shirt right there. We do. This is where it is that we take that full advantage of the pause glitch. This is probably one of the best usages of it because having to wait for the Yellow Devil to be able to go back and forth is just irritating beyond belief.
Otherwise, you only get one hit and then you can't hit him again. You have to do that unless you sweat glitch. That's awful.
Yeah. So anybody who runs glitchless, like, you know,
we're taking that.
My heart goes out to you. It's the worst.
It is awful. I did stop and pick up that big tank with my magnet beam just to make sure we have enough for the rest of the run. And in case I misplace any beams, I can redo zips that I really want to show off.
Yeah, and there's some zips in this stage that can be done that are just not safe in any capacity. We are not going for that at all.
They are, they are sub-pixel dependent, and you can do everything right, and it doesn't matter. The game says, no, we're just not going to let you do that.
Yeah, and so it's just like we want to avoid that entirely. But luckily, especially with the extra ammo, we'll be able to have some safeties with some of the later stages, like particularly Wily 3. There's some really cool zips rather than doing what's called the walk of shame, where you get to be able to just zip through the hallway, and it's so lovely.
All right, we're gonna go out of bounds again here for 2 screens. And then we have to go to the right side, or we hit some death spikes.
And only 2 screens.
Yeah. And if you're good, there's another single frame trick you can do to scroll the screen, and then you exit down here instead of having the serpentine through that. So we got half of that. That's okay.
Yeah, for what it is that's going on right now. You know, this is, if you're going for everything and really going for broke, you really only have one chance at a lot of this stuff, and recovery is just beyond awful, aside from soft locks that can happen throughout the game. So safeties are like not just like oh, you know what, I'm not sure if I want to go for this. It's like, no, you're definitely going for some of these safeties, because this is the marathon we're talking about here. So we get to take the clone out.
If you noticed, the fire shield was extended on a lot of those. I don't know if you know how that works.
I know a little bit about it. So in terms of like if you fire it again within a certain frame window, you're able to double up the flame shield, I believe.
Yeah, if the flame shield is gone but your projectile is still on the screen, you can repress B for like a 4-second flame shield. And we have used that again on Wily, and it doesn't use ammo when you do that.
Yeah, just it's really, really lovely. And then we're also going to wind up seeing on this boss here, in terms of like kind of on that related note of things leaving the screen and stuff like that, we're going to see some really, really cool tech here, hopefully. It's a frame perfect trick, but we can use guts here to be able to duplicate these blocks when they go off the screen. And
see if I can do it. No, not yet.
This is the magic block. There we go. We got another one.
Only one. We're gonna bust them down now.
Again, frame perfect. Like it's super, super tight. And this is a weird boss too, because Buster is a decent recovery for it, but you can't mash too quickly. That's actually a big thing in this game, is that people sometimes will be like, oh, can I use turbo? It's like, do not use turbo. You can't use turbo, because there's this weird thing with iframes that if you hammer down on turbo or you mash too quickly, it doesn't actually do any damage to the enemy. So it keeps like enabling their iframes and they just never get damaged. So you could just plug bullets into an enemy that has health and nothing will happen. So, you know, anybody who has that question, seriously, never use turbo. So now we're going to be seeing is it just, you know, let's just ignore this hallway. I'm sick of this hallway.
I don't like that hallway.
No, nobody likes that hallway. Just it has a smug aura to it. So if we could just get rid of it,
all right. So here's the big trick for skipping the refights.
So this fight's just gonna look a little weird for a bit, and then bye-bye refights.
Yep. There's supposed to be 4 refights there, but we can clip into the ceiling and just skip all of them, and it's basically a death warp to the checkpoint.
And then here we go. We're on to Wily.
And I'll get the ammo anyway, but the reason we do those fire shields on the clone is so that we don't have to pick that up, you know, if we're on a good pace. Because he does take probably about half of the ammo that you have available to do this fight.
And if you mess up any of the shots or anything like that, then yeah, you got to be more careful with it. So again, we're talking a very short game that's just right in front of you. So safety is never a bad thing. One of the nice things about this route, there we go. Congrats. That's a stellar run. You crushed that.
No deaths. Some things went wrong, and that's just how it goes.
But you got some nice hallways. You did some of those, you know, lovely pixel perfect things. Like that was exceptional.
Yeah,
well,
thank
way to go.
you very much. Yeah, that went a lot better than I anticipated. Let's put it that way, because that easily could go off the rails.
Well, that's fantastic. GG's in the chat.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Keep going. Let's chat while he's doing this.
Yeah, so anyway, while the ooh is still going.
And sorry, I meant to put in a bunch of Simpsons references throughout the run, but I forgot how much there's to talk about.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. The only thing I was going to say is just don't do what Johnny Fanto does, and everything is going to be fine. And it was. Just don't be like Fanto.
Don't be like Fanto. That's the best way. That's the best advice you could have in life.
Right.
Right there. All right. We are going to have the Phantomire back with us in a couple minutes here playing Contra. We still got 10 minutes, folks, to raise those $77.70 to get that secret ending.
Secret ending. That doesn't sound evil at all. Secret ending.
Choobs and Phantomire, thank you so much for being part of Slurpathon. Anything you want to close out with before we get set up for the next run here?
Everybody stick around and watch the Phanto get really hardcore with Contra coming right up. Slurpathon after dark.
All right. Thanks,
We'll see you in a bit, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.